Hey guys, welcome back to Steve's View. Today we're diving into something that's been buzzing in political circles, Elon Musk, the whole third-party question, and why he now looks much more likely to throw his weight behind Republican Senator J.D. Vance for 2028. There's also chatter about Marco Rubio, and of course we can't avoid touching on the state of the Democrats. Let's break this down step by step, in plain language. So let's start with the headline. A while back, Musk floated the idea of starting a third party. That sounded wild, right? You could imagine the memes, the speculation, the hype. But according to new reports, and this was a Wall Street Journal exclusive, Musk has basically pressed pause on that idea. He's not moving forward with it. Instead, his team has already been in touch with J.D. Vance's team, which is a pretty clear signal. If Vance runs for president in 2028, Musk is very likely to back him. Now here's the question. Why put the brakes on a new party? Well, the short answer is, it just doesn't work in America. People love the idea of a fresh start, some alternative to Democrats and Republicans. But structurally, it almost always fails. Our system is built around two giant parties, and the rules are designed that way. Think about it. First past the post-elections make third parties into spoilers, the Electoral College blocks them out, and ballot access laws make it insanely complicated to even get on the ballot in all 50 states. On top of that, most voters don't want to waste their vote, and donors don't want to throw millions into something that has no real path to power. Sure, you can build a movement, but actually governing, that's a whole different game. So Musk, who's no fool, probably realized pretty quickly, founding a third party wouldn't just fail, it would actually undercut his bigger goal of bringing America back to normal, as he's put it. And that leads us to Vance. Why J.D. Vance? Because for Musk, it's the rational, low-drama move. Vance is young, ambitious, and can talk both to Silicon Valley elites and to the Republican base. He's close to Peter Thiel, which means he understands the tech crowd. But he's also carved out a lane with populist voters in Ohio and beyond. That makes him a kind of bridge candidate, someone who doesn't instantly alienate one side while speaking to the other. Plus, and this is huge, Donald Trump himself actually speaks pretty warmly of Vance. He's mentioned him more than once as someone who could be a key figure in the GOP's future. If Musk backs Vance, that's not going to be seen as betraying Trump or undermining the movement. But if Musk poured money into some other rival right now, that would look like picking a fight with Trump. And let's be honest, even if you're Elon Musk, you don't want to casually pick that fight. Because in today's GOP, if you're seen as stabbing Trump in the back, you're not just burning one bridge, you're cutting yourself out of the whole network. And besides, who would even want to take that money? No one running in the Republican Party wants to look like they're cashing checks to undermine Trump. So in that sense, Vance is the safest option. Musk keeps his influence in the GOP, doesn't create an enemy in Trump, and positions himself alongside someone who looks like the future of the party. Now let's flip to the Democrats for a second. Could Musk switch sides and go blue? Honestly, not really. The party right now is, in the eyes of people like Musk, leaning too far left on cultural issues, too heavy-handed on regulation, and too divided internally. There just isn't a strong, obvious candidate for 2028 that Musk would want to back. Remember, Democrats used to be more rooted in union politics, blue-collar energy, and middle-class bread and butter issues. These days, at least in Musk's view, they've shifted so far left that they're out of alignment with what he's pushing for: innovation, fast permitting, industrial growth, and a less woke public culture. Could they swing back someday? Maybe. But right now, there's no clear lane for him there. So if not the Democrats, who else? Well, we already mentioned Vance, but let's not forget Marco Rubio. This is interesting. Every time Trump gets asked about Vance, he almost always brings up Rubio in the same breath. That's a tell. Rubio is polished, disciplined, and knows how to play the Washington game. He's been sharpening his foreign policy profile and staying relevant on tech issues. Rubio isn't making noise to challenge Trump right now. He's just quietly doing the work and positioning himself as a potential successor. Musk is smart enough to see that too. So yes, Vance looks like the frontrunner for Musk's support, but keeping ties to Rubio, that's just smart strategy. It's about having more than one door open in 2028. And then we come back to the third-party question. People bring up the Libertarian Party all the time. Why hasn't Musk just joined them? The truth is, libertarians do exist, and they even win some local offices here and there. But nationally, they're stuck in single digits. They can't scale up into a governing party under the current system. And honestly, it wouldn't make much sense for Musk to team up with them. They've got their own internal squabbles. They don't really need him, and he doesn't really need them. Musk is a strategic operator. He's not going to throw his resources into a movement that at best makes noise and, at worst, siphons off votes in a way that actually helps the other side. Same goes for Andrew Yang's Forward Party experiment. It created headlines, but not real political infrastructure. It's just the hard truth. In America, new parties almost never make it beyond being symbolic. Now let's circle back to Musk and Vance personally. Their relationship isn't just transactional. They've been connected through Silicon Valley circles, through Peter Thiel, and through overlapping ideas about America's direction. Recently, Vance even called out Musk in an interview, basically saying, "Hey, it'd be smart for Elon to stick with our side. We want him back in the fold before the midterms." That wasn't just political theater. It was a public invitation, showing that Vance values Musk's backing and thinks there's a natural sit there. Musk, for his part, seems to view Vance as someone with both potential and actual governing ability. And that matters. In politics, friendship is nice, but power and competence are what keep alliances alive. Vance looks like someone who could actually govern, not just make speeches, and that makes him a safer bet for Musk to invest in. So let's zoom out. What does all this add up to? Pretty simple. Musk isn't going to bankroll a third party. He's too smart for that, and he knows the structure of US politics makes it almost impossible to succeed. He's not joining the Democrats either. That lane's closed for now, which leaves him with the GOP, where his safest and smartest play is J.D. Vance, with Marco Rubio as a backup lane. Supporting anyone else would look like an anti-Trump move, and Musk doesn't need that drama. At the end of the day, this is about leverage. Musk wants to shape policy, not waste time on vanity projects. And the way you shape policy in America is by attaching yourself to viable candidates inside the two-party system, not trying to reinvent the wheel. So expect to see Musk's name tied to Vance more and more as we move toward 2028. And don't be shocked if Rubio keeps popping up in those conversations too. That's the landscape right now. So, final thought. Third parties in the US sound exciting. They make for good headlines, but the math, the rules, and the incentives all pull toward two big camps. Musk knows that, and instead of burning resources on a doomed experiment, he's making the rational play. Stick with the major party, back someone with real potential, and keep doors open for the future. All right, that's today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this, hit like, drop a comment with who you think Musk should back, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into politics, tech, and everything in between.